Hey everybody, it's SaskiaSketches, and in this video I'm going to be explaining how I made my To the Other Side animatic. So I mentioned this briefly in my analysis video of this animatic, but the whole thing about this was that I wanted to make some really cool camera angles, but I wasn't really, looking forward to figuring all of those out in 2D. So what I decided to do instead was do the environment in 3D and then do the actual characters and the quote-unquote animation in 2D. So what I started with was just an idea, right? Because so I had this song that I liked that I wanted to make an animatic to, because I felt like, oh hey, this character fits this song really well. And then what I had was an idea of the two characters running up the staircase. And that's when the issue of the figuring out those weird camera angles, or like those not weird, just complicated camera angles in 2D space, and thinking that might just be a bit tough. So instead I decided, hey, what if I do this in 3D? What if I quickly just do some blocking out of this structure and try and figure out how would this look like in 3D, so then I can maybe tilt the camera around it and just like figure out a good composition and camera angles and everything. So what I started with is what you're seeing here, is just a block out basically, and just trying to figure out, oh hey, what would this look like, and how would I like this to look in terms of environment, what did I have in mind, and just trying to figure out how I would like to just block us out and see what it would be like, and just to get a feel for the just the scene and the environment in general, I suppose. And I was thinking, oh, I'll just do just like a couple cubes and that'll be it. But I actually had so much fun with it that I just decided to keep going and just do make a more detail and add those railings and everything. And I really like actually how it came out. And it's not often that I voluntarily do 3D work, because those of you who don't know, I am doing a lot of 3D work for school, and I'm not very well versed in 3D, right? So I am mostly a 2D artist, and I thought that I'd be doing a lot of 2D art for the study that I'm doing, but apparently it's mostly it's mostly 3D work. So but I'm figuring it out, and I am not as I feel like I've learned a lot about 3D, and yeah, so I'm really happy that I had this this medium, that I was able to take advantage of it during this this project. So I really like the way that it came out, and I love that the 3D stuff was able to help me visualize some things, and I really like yeah, just that I did some 3D work voluntarily. And it was nice to see, or like to experience, I guess, that I have become a lot better at 3D, because a year ago, roughly around this time, I was also making an environment thing, and it took me forever because I was just starting to learn Maya and just trying to figure out which buttons do I need, and how do I do this, and right now I've had a plan, and I knew what I wanted, and it just worked out somehow. Because I don't know, I'm just happy to see the kind of progress that I've made, even though, you know, it's not like super impressive 3D stuff, but I just whipped this up in like, I think it was half an hour to an hour, and that was really quick for me. And I'm happy with my progress. I'm happy with my progress. You can still, you know, see me struggling here and there, because, you know, I know this thing with the booleans, I had so much trouble trying to figure out, because I knew that this was a thing that you could do, to like where you know, so you have two objects and you can do like a division or something, right? So you have it's difficult to explain. So you have two I've got these two cubes, and I want to make a hole the size of this flat. No, I want to make a hole in the wall, basically, in the shape of this other rectangle shaped thing, and you can do that with a boolean option, boolean operation, I think it's called. But it's so, like, I'm just I had so much trouble figuring it out. There it is. That's what I mean. I did it. So that took like 5 minutes to figure out, but I did it. So, you know, obviously I'm not the greatest with 3D, but, you know, I don't think I'll ever be, but that's fine. You know, I feel like I have at least a semi-decent understanding of it now, and I just wanted to show off some of my 3D work on my YouTube channel, because I don't get to do that, because I don't do any 3D work for myself. So yeah, after I finished modeling, I was going to figure out how I wanted to do the cameras. I don't know how much of this footage that I captured, but I wanted to animate a camera on a spline to kind of go around this the staircase, and I knew that this was a thing that you could do. Then again, you know, just like with the other thing, like, I know that that this is a thing that you can do, I just don't really know how. So that's mostly my 3D work. So I started with I think it's a NURBS curve, and just trying to get that into the general position of where I wanted the camera to rotate. And after I got like a because I knew the kind of how I wanted the camera to tilt, so I just had to get the path, basically, that the camera would follow, and then I added the camera, and I attached it to the curve with like the motion path constraint, and that didn't work. So I was able to get the camera attached, but I wasn't able to get it facing the right way, and I haven't figured out why, or what you know, why that is, or what the solution to that problem is. I know that there is a solution, I know that you can do it this way, but I just couldn't figure it out. So instead I used another curve tool. I don't know exactly which curve tool it is, but that worked better for some reason. I don't really know why, like I said, because I'm not an expert, and then I was stuck in this one camera for a bit because I forgot that you can how to cycle through the cameras, but I figured it out. You do it with the panel option, not with the view option. See, you know, I'm learning. I can, you know, Maya is a tough program to figure out. It's a monster software, and, you know, I've been working with it for a year now, and I diligently working with it for a year now. Like, not every once in a blue moon figuring out Maya. No, like, I've been doing this basically every day for school. But, you know, we're getting there. I'm like, I've got a general workflow and stuff of things that I know that I can do, and everything. You know, obviously, I'm not going to master a big software such as Maya very quickly, but it's fine, and I'm making progress, and that is what matters. So I was just trying to figure out this camera, just like rotating it and keying it, seeing if that would work, but that didn't. And so, oh yeah, I also tried constraining it to a locator with an aim constraint. That just made the camera, so it did make it like aim at the thing, but it just made the camera also like rotate like crazy along this curve, so you get some like really wacky camera angles, and that was not what I wanted. So I tried to like make a with like a scene up as well, but it just like a an object up, but it wasn't happening this way. So instead of trying to figure out how I could do it the way that I wanted to do it, I just try to do it a different way, because that's usually what helps with this sort of thing. Like sometimes you just need to just do it in a, you know, just look up a tutorial and maybe do it a way that you're not entirely used to, but maybe, you know, get some new ideas and everything. So yeah, 3D is a really interesting way of working. It's so different to 2D, I mean, like, obviously, but I'm just so, I don't know, it's so interesting to work in 3D, and like it's really handy. Like there's certain things like this where I'm like, oh yeah, this is so, I'm so glad that I know how to do 3D, so that I kind of know or have an just a way to do this, if that makes sense. Because I didn't if I didn't know 3D, I would have had to visualize all of this in 2D, and that would have been very difficult to say the least, because even though you know, I've got a pretty okay understanding of how 3D space works when you're drawing it 2D, if that makes sense. Like I can do these camera angles, it just takes a lot of time. Oh yeah, I figured out how to do it without the other curve. So I still have this NURBS curve, but I figured out what the problem was, that the issue was that the curve was not flat, if that makes sense. So like it wasn't on the same I think the same X and Z panel, if that, no, oh my gosh, it did I just say that I'm good with 3D? I meant that all the vertices don't have the same Y coordinate, and that was what was messing it up. So now that the vertices all have the, well, not the same, but just semi similar Y coordinate, now you've got the camera tilt that looks fine like this, and then I messed it up again later. So I had I don't know what I did, but I just couldn't get it right anymore. So then I just referenced my footage, and that worked better. And here's the thing where I did use the other curve tool, and that worked a lot better. I didn't have nearly as much trouble with that. That was, you know, easy, and it worked so well in just like, I did that in like 2 seconds. There you go, that's one camera tilt. So it's a lot easier with this one, but if you have a more complicated tilt, you can do it with the NURBS curve, but you need to make sure that all the vertices have the same Y coordinates. See, I'm learning. I can do this. I can do 3D. I can learn it. So after I had all these cool, crazy tilted camera angles, I like took a screenshot of all of them, and I first imported them into Photoshop, and then I made sure to crop them all the same size, because some of the screenshots weren't the same size, and then I was able to just draw over top of them, and that was so much easier to then, you know, figuring out how this rotating thing would work in you know, first like drawing the environment and then drawing the characters and adjusting and making sure that everything looks fine. This was a lot easier, and I love the way that it came out. It makes it look so effortless, right? This camera tilt, and I just love the way that it looks. It makes me really happy. And I also did all the other, not just the tilting camera angles, but all the other camera angles I also figured out in 3D Space first. So I just took screenshots, right, and I tried to locate where do I want where do I want the characters to be, and where do I want the camera to be, and then try and figure out compositions based on that. It was really interesting, and it was a very easy way to find cool compositions, but at the same time it was also tricky because I couldn't do as many close-ups as I usually do, so because it was hard to get with the camera to get very up close with the camera and then still show the environment, because it will make it either you'd see just the only like a little bit of the environment and the whole bunch of the grid, or you'd have just a really big close-up of like one wall or something, and it'd look strange. But that's fine, you know. I also think that it worked well for my the story that I wanted to tell. So I just really like the camera angles that I was able to get. I mentioned in the analysis video a couple camera angles that I really liked. For example, that one with the quote-unquote cage, where the safety rating like really looks like a cage, and I love the way that one looked. And then, you know, one where Jamae was leaning on one of the railings and then me looking up, it was really cool. And this made this cool shot where, you know, the running up the staircase, it made it possible to and easy to make, and that's why it's so exciting to me to learn 3D, even though, you know, it's such a pain in the neck. I don't like doing 3D at all, but at the same time I'm really happy that I kind of know a little bit 3D now, so that I can learn how to do these things and to, you know, do it, to apply it basically with my own work. And it's so interesting and exciting, and I just love it. I had a lot of fun with this, even though, like I mentioned, you know, there was some of the things are hard to figure out, and I had a little bit of trouble here and there, but hey, that's, you know, what it's going to be when you're learning a new medium. I know that I remember that I struggled with gouache for like I think at least a year, maybe even 2 years before I was able to figure out gouache, and now I love gouache, you know. So it's really interesting, and it's one of those phases, I guess, you just have to go through. I'm having the same thing with animating right now. Like, I really enjoy animating, but it takes like there's certain things that, you know, still give me a lot of trouble, but I'm getting better and better, and I'm enjoying it a lot, and I love being able to tell my stories in different ways, and just use different media to tell my stories. And I'm so excited about this, and it just makes me happy, and I'm really glad to show some 3D work on my my channel, because, like I said, I don't do 3D often, not voluntarily anyway, for my own projects and stuff, I mean. So it's really fun to show. I've been wanting to show some 3D stuff on my channel, but I've just never really gotten around to doing any 3D work for me, I guess. So yeah, that's how I made this animatic, and I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!